This month on Falling Forward, we're going to talk about toxic holidays.
Not the actual holiday being toxic, but the folks you be rolling with,
They toxic.
they toxic. You need to get it right.
Hello, this is Falling Forward with the Ross Sisters. I'm Carm, and this is my sister,
Dr. Ross, Dr. Christine Ross.
So, I personally never had a toxic holiday, which I'm so blessed. Maybe toxic funerals, but not toxic holidays. Can you think of a toxic holiday that we've had?
No, but I think our next episode should be about funerals.
Yeah, maybe you gotta act.
Because, I feel like there is some funeral decorum that some need to. You don't need to sit there and be getting your life right at the funeral, because you should have got your life right prior to them having died and prior to the funeral. But that's neither here
That's a
nor
whole nother story.
So we digress.
Yeah.
But toxic holidays. So, and I'm even trying to think of friends. I had a friend in the past that I feel like they said all their holidays were always dramas, always stress, always something going on. And I realize now, knowing, and I'm not friends with this person any longer, but I'm like, it's that common denominator theory.
Yeah, who's in all these holidays?
Yeah, it's like you a part of all the freaking holidays you in.
Yeah.
So how come, like, even if there's difficulty in the holiday, what is it that you can shift about yourself? But I feel like some people feel obligated.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because like, this is my family. So man, I gotta go to I gotta go to all these Christmas parties. I gotta show up. I gotta do this when you don't really want to. Now, I know it's good. I like family. I love my family together. But I've been with someone who wasn't a holiday person before. So, I can understand the trauma that can come to a holiday, especially if a family is not healthy. And we were blessed to have a healthy family, I would say, as a whole, but not everybody has that.
And I think and I'm not even sure, like, even in the history of our family, like before were born, how the holidays were. Because I kind of think about, I know my grandfather had a drinking problem at some point, so I don't know what their holidays were like. But because of that, we grew up and we didn't have alcohol at holiday functions and things like that.
Yeah, in our Kansas City family, we didn't have alcohol at our functions, but in my St. Louis family, these shivers can drink.
They can.
So they're
drink.
So I'm
it
sure
ain't drink. It's
they can drink.
So
yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, when we're looking at holidays, we got to look at who we're rolling with. Why do we have that obligation that we got to hang out with family or individuals that make us miserable
but that's the
our
culture.
holiday season?
But that's the culture. It's like, that's your family, so you have to. We're told your family, you have to put up with them. But that's not necessarily true. You don't have to put up with anybody that is toxic in your life.
And I think added to that, though, it's that whole fact that you're allowed to love someone that you don't like.
Right, from a distance.
From a distance.
Like, you want to make sure you add that. Because I have some cousins that I love to death, but I don't like them. So guess what? They're not invited to my house at any of my parties. I mean, I just don't invite them. There's nothing wrong with not being invited to, I don't feel bad when they don't invite me to their functions. I don't invite them to mine. I love you, but I don't like you. We're not friends. You stay there, I stay here.
Well, and it actually even reminds me, and y'all, I'm never on social media like that. Even though we do these videos, there was something that happened about 8 years ago in which drew me away from social media. Now, somebody commented on it. I might say something in another episode about what it was.
I don't even know what it was.
Well, it's okay. And you're not going to know today either. But
I'm your sister.
So, this is that toxic relationship. You see people right here. This is called drawing a boundary. I already had said no. And then she over here.
Isn't boundaries meant to cross?
No.
That's what I thought they were for.
No. Well,
that's what we got to do.
It helps when people test your boundaries, because you can determine is it an appropriate boundary that you want, but it can't be based on some emotional tug. It has to be because some truth is within the situation.
And that's what's important. Speaking of boundaries, important for the holidays is setting boundaries. If you know you don't F with this person,
then don't ever.
You don't have to talk to them at the family function. You can just be cordial. And what happened to us being cordial? Now, it's so weird. If you have a family function and you're just ignoring people, we know that you're ignoring Jim, okay? We can see you ignoring Mike. We're not stupid. That's your mama. That's your brother. And we don't see you guys together. That's your cousin. We can tell when there's some animosity in the family. So if you're going to show up to a place and not talk to nobody, please stay home.
Yeah, stay home. Just come correct. Because if you can say hi to some random person in the grocery store with whom you do not know,
you can say hi to that girl you don't like.
You can be cordial to somebody you do know. And just keep it pushing. That doesn't mean you need to be chopping it up and chatting it up with them. Hey, mom. Hey, daddy. Hey, cousin, so and so or auntie.
Well, you don't got to tell them your life story and stuff like that. You don't got to do all that stuff.
You don't have to do it. But it reminded me, though, going back to that social media post, is someone put, and I want to say it was a cousin of mine, reposted something that said, once the backbone of your family is gone, then, holidays aren't the same. And honestly, I feel that sad to sit there and let that dictate
your holidays. Because somebody has to step up and take the place. In order to get the family unit running again, someone has to fill the spot that was emptied. Well, and I'm not saying in the same way, but I'm saying there has to be a shift, because I noticed that, like, when we were little, our parents used to organize all the holiday stuff. So we used to do family holidays all the time. As we got older, they stopped doing it, and guess what? We didn't take over.
Yeah, we wasn't taking over.
So you have to step up and do that. Make your own culture. Hey, I didn't like it that way, but now since Grandma Benny is gone, or I don't know what you want to call her. They gone. I don't even know if that's a girl's name. I don't know.
Ours was Greenie at that
I couldn't think of,
She just puts it. But I feel like what it comes down to is we have to define the culture of the family, of the holidays that we want to engage in. And if we're always going to be pulling back from the elders who brought us to that place, and we're going to allow it to break. Well, and I think it's important. It's not even just about starting something new. Is they were just telling us to start something, to be family, to be together, to be loving towards one another. And I feel like they would be mortified if they said, now you no longer like life because they're no longer there. Well, what else? Did they not instill anything in us or within us that valued the spirit that they brought to the holiday? And if we're not encapsulating that, then we probably missed something that they were trying to teach us in that season.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, though. When my dad died, the holidays, definitely is different. And it's adjustments that take place. Like right now, we live in different cities. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. Christine lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we normally alternate holidays. Like this year, Thanksgiving at my house. Next year, Christmas. Maybe we'll go do a destination Christmas. Is that?
Yeah, hopefully we're going to be doing a cruise next Christmas.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Like ride or die.
I love me some cruises.
But with that being said, is how do we redefine what we want our holidays to look like? And it should carry with us people that we love that are no longer there. What is the spirit that they wanted to bring? Or it could be an opposite thing that, we always had crappy holidays. And it's our time to transform
it into something different.
What it means to us.
And that's what we need to do. When we don't like things, we need to change something about it ourselves. We just can't be like, oh, well, this is going to suck. No, what are you doing to alter this to make this better? I feel that we're not doing that a lot. But, families can be crazy. I mean, I've heard of fights during the holidays, and then, it's just incredibly sad to know that, the joyous times of my life are holidays and spend it with family, and not because of the gifts. That's why I like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because you get the food, the family, and nobody's ungrateful because people are not expecting anything from you except thank you and I love you. Christmas, though, that commercialized holiday. And let me tell you something. If I see another white Jesus pop up on my timeline, we're going to have some issues. Because no matter what race you are, the Middle East It's not.
They not white, boo.
They're not white.
They not white.
Not white.
I'm sorry. White Jesus is not a real Jesus.
But I have Jesus in my house, but it's a black Jesus.
Mhm.
If they can do the white Jesus, I said, well, all my Jesus is going to be black. If white people can do it, black people can do
Listen,
it.
I don't have a Jesus in my house except the one that dwells in spirit and in truth.
Whatever. So I also have a Santa Claus, a blow up Santa Claus that I put in my house. It's a black blow up Santa Claus. It's about 8 feet tall, and we just put it in the front yard, and it blows it up and does all these things. So all my holidays are black. So my kids are gonna be experiencing black Jesus. And then when I send, I have from Family Dollar, I got some Christmas cards, and they're black holiday Christmas cards. So don't be surprised if y'all see some all black popping up in y'all mail.
Mm-hmm. And actually, we might just do a spam campaign and send y'all all mahogany cards from the Hallmark. Yep. So y'all know that everybody don't envision white Jesus in their house.
Yeah. And if another person puts white Jesus on their timeline, I'm going to message them and we can have some issue.
We gonna have some words. But I feel like even going back, still looking at holidays, looking at the presence, the spirit of the holidays, I was thinking of, and we do these quotes of the week at work that, oh, I did put one this week, but we do quotes of the week at work. And I want to say it was 2 weeks ago that it was a Maya Angelou quote. And it said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude.
But that's hard.
Changing your attitude is hard.
Because when you get there, Uncle Charles is going to act a fool. You know that. Mm-hmm. You got to go in the mindset that, hey, my Uncle Charles is a fool. So I'm not going to react to what he says. And I'm going to stay away from him as much as possible, especially if he gets the drinks in his system. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to move. And I'm using names because my family members, I can't think of anybody else. He's not
so
a drunk.
It ain't like that's what Uncle Charles actually did, but it's just a name.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's accepting of who people are. A lot of times what we want to accept about people is who we want them to be.
But not who they actually are.
Who they actually are. And some people, we then have some consternation during the holiday season is because we want our made up family to show up.
Yeah, so every holiday we're excited and we're like, oh, this is gonna be a good holiday. Goodwill, your family's
this time black Jesus is gonna be there.
No.
Mm-hmm. Now, y'all, just for a caveat, Jesus is also not black, but it's just based on the principle. He is dark complected, wool like hair. So we're just putting that out there, but we just need to mix it up so y'all know that y'all image of blue-eyed, thin-lipped Jesus, that ain't he.
Jesus.
That ain't he.
That's not.
A lot of times what we see as far as the holidays is what culture has shaped. And this is actually even the importance of the talk when we're talking about toxic holidays. It's culture has shaped how you live out your holidays.
Right. You see,
that's only culture. And if culture can shape it, then that means we have the ability, not only the ability, but we have the power to reshape the culture of how our families move. So kind of think about it. Before COVID, Walmart was open 24/7. Walmart now closes at 9 or 10. So though we had moved around this thing that we can go to Walmart at any time, all of us have shifted to Walmart. What Walmart does now, y'all might be
realize that you're right.
It is not
I don't go to Walmart, so I never pay attention.
I ain't going.
But you're right. I remember like back in the day, like we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I went to school in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They hung out at Walmart. Walmart,
Dion's and Sonic.
Yeah, they would hang out and drive up and down Montgomery. Up and down, things has changed, but we adjusted. Mm-hmm. And that's what we got to do, adjust. Just like when someone who was in your family that's not there no more, you have to adjust in order to still have a fulfilled holiday.
Mm-hmm. And a fulfilled life. And we've talked about this before, even in our episode that we talked about grieving and death with Christy Woodfork. And she was speaking about her brother, our god brother, Mikey, and cousin. But you figure out ways to incorporate that individual in what you do. If that's a person that you love, and let's say they loved Christmas, why would you allow that whatever happened to change even how you're viewing that person, because you have chosen to make Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever into this sad day,
time,
as
because you're in
opposed to
mourning.
making it a celebration of their life, that this is what grandma likes to do, and
Or we
I
can
want
play-
to hold on
Right,
to
and
it.
you can pay tribute to that person. You know,
Mhm.
I know, like, I don't know if you can see this. I don't think you can, but we have
Take it in.
let me take this
We
off the
have
tree.
this tree,
And this is my dad. He passed in 2013. So we got that. So this is what we do. We just put it on our tree, just in memory of him. So now for the holidays, you know, this is like in our centerpiece. I'm gonna put this back so hopefully it won't drop and break.
Mm-hmm.
But that's our centerpiece. So you have to make the holidays what you want them to be, not what the traumatic experiences that you had before.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so hard because you know Jenny is still gonna act a damn fool.
Yeah.
She is. You know that. She always acts a fool every time.
And
Every time you see her.
Jenny to act a fool. And if you don't want to deal with Jenny during the holiday, either create your own celebration at your house or go after Jenny already done went home.
Right.
And if Jenny ain't gone home by herself, how about you offer to drive Jenny home because she
Uber her
had a
ass home.
little much that day, so she can be exiting and you can still say, "Hi, cousin Jenny,
Mhm.
I love you."
But
But
you
it's time
cannot
for you
get
to
mad
exit.
at somebody who continuously acts the way they normally act.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn that from personal experiences. There's someone that hurt me in my family, and I can't hold that against them every time they hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say this person's gonna act this way, get all upset, super mad, have a horrible holiday, because I know they're gonna act like they were supposed to act.
Mm-hmm. And I think with that being said, I had a similar experience with someone in our family. And one of the bigger things that I had to do, and the Lord really called me to the carpet on this. I was so upset with this person. And I might have mentioned this in another episode. I don't recall. But I was like, Lord, how do I forgive this person for what they did? How do I do X, Y, Z? And the Lord really came into my spirit, and he was like, I never told you to be rolling that deep with this person in the
Right.
first place. So you're asking you're asking me to show you how to forgive somebody in which you were doing things on your own to continue this
And putting
Yeah.
yourself in a situation where you gotta forgive them when you know they're gonna do something effed up anyway.
So I had to learn that, you know what? I forgive that person because I was the one that allowed their toes to be in my space. I allowed them to be in my house or in my car or in my wherever I allowed them to be. And so when you sit there and invite people into your space that the Lord didn't tell you to invite in your space,
And that's
the way you
including family members.
Mhm.
And I hate to say this because we all got this thing in our culture that we got to suffer no matter what because of their family. We need to break out of that because we're getting hurt and we're getting destroyed by our family. And we're allowing it to form us and shape us and make us into something that we don't want to be.
Mhm. And we got to remember that family is what we create.
Right.
It doesn't have your family does not have to be biological family. They're the family that you run to, the one that you have pulled around you. We've been blessed that our closest people are family.
Mhm.
Like our closest people are actually blood relatives, but it doesn't make that relationship a better relationship. What I will say, in our case, I can say a lot of those relationships are stronger because as a 40-year-old woman,
We know them all
I've
our
known
lives.
them for 40
Yeah.
years.
So it's easy.
So,
Yeah.
So it's easier to move and it's easier to look at that accountability piece, because even when we're talking about our make-believe Jenny, how many people in our family are we actually willing to go on that limb and keep them accountable to what is happening? Because at times in my profession, in my relationships, I've noticed that there are people that have been moving this way for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and not one person has told them that their behavior is inappropriate. So
Yeah.
we're all leaning on that next person to be like, "Hey, Carmen, you gonna tell them? Oh, so-and-so, they're gonna tell them. Well, I'm just gonna wait to see if they change." Why would they change if nobody told them that there was a problem. And there's people right now who get into these toxic holidays, and y'all got 50 family members that are coming to the family event. Everybody feels the same way about Johnny. And now one person has been loving enough to tell Johnny
Hey,
what the
bro.
problem is, which means we are holding back on Johnny's opportunity for growth based on the things we will not tell them.
And that is a problem that I know, speaking to a lot of people's traumatic experiences with family, is that there's a lot of stuff going on and they're not saying how they feel. They're not correcting behavior. They're not setting boundaries. Who's going to respect your boundaries if you don't put boundaries up?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can think this is okay the whole time calling you Nancy, and you don't like that be called Nancy. You don't tell me. How am I supposed to know? And then you like, this girl gonna call me Nancy again. I don't even like her because you didn't even communicate with me that you don't like this behavior, and you're holding me accountable to this
something you
behavior
never told
when you
me.
can tell me something was wrong. So how that nobody is mind readers up in here. So if you have a problem with somebody, and I'm guilty of it, especially, I'm not gonna lie, in my relationship now, I don't talk. We have to talk.
Hold on, you see how big of a surprise that is that Carmen would say she don't talk.
Yeah, because I sometimes don't know how to say my feelings out loud in an effective manner, in my opinion, in order to get it relayed correctly.
Well, and I think at times it's not even about saying them in an effective manner. It's all how you process things. Because then we were talking about this the other day. Some people's clapback game is on point.
Oh, yeah,
on
mine's
fleek.
not. I have to clap back in like a week or so. And I'm like, man, I should have said that. I should have said this. I could have said that. And it's already gone. So then somebody's saying, well, you're beating a dead horse. Well, I didn't get to say what I wanted to say. So I'm coming back a week later telling you about yourself. Some people can be like, bam, bam, bam. One thing said, they got bam, bam. And you like, what? And then I'm the type of person that has to process and think about things.
And I think, and I probably should even rephrase the whole idea of it being a clapback game, because I feel like when we're having conflicts with people, it should not ever be about us competing with that person. It is about what's best for the relationship, and that's whether it is a romantic relationship or friendship, familyship, whatever you want to call it. It is not about us competing or winning, because as soon as you win or I win, we both have lost. We both have lost.
That's the thing is, and people on the notion like this is not sports. We all can win still. That we might have to give up something to win something in another area, but we all can win things. It's not always a win or lose situation, but life has taught us there's always one person on top. Just like when you look at, we talked about this before, when you look at Nike and Adidas and all those shoe places, they making millions of dollars, and there's room for all of them. There's room for all of us too. So you don't have to do that one up all the time.
Well, and I think it's that ideal of take your seat at the table. Usually when we take a seat at the table, it is about us coming together, even if it's a difficulty to understand perspectives. Anytime we go, and I feel like for our Ross side of the family, a lot of times we're some debaters, and some of us know that, okay, we're just hearing that simple perspective, and some of us can easily take it to heart with it. But it comes down to, do you understand that person's perspective? You don't have to agree with their perspective.
Well,
but it's a perspective nonetheless.
See, understand to me, and I'm not going to say because I think it's impossible for us to understand every single thing.
Agree.
That's somebody. So to me, understanding, there has to be a better word than understanding. There has to be something like, I hear you out. Because to me, when you understand something, it implies that you agree.
I don't think it implies that you agree.
Because I don't understand why you feel that way. I'm sorry.
Well, it reminds me of our nephew. So our nephew, bless his heart, little Serrani, when he was...
He ain't no more. He's 6-something, 20 years old.
Yeah. But when he was younger, he'd be like, but Auntie, you're not listening to me. And I said, baby, listen, you said X, Y, and Z, correct? Yes. So I listened to you. I just didn't agree with what you were saying.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Some people think understanding is agreeing. I hear you. I understand based on what you're saying why you feel that way, but I wholeheartedly disagree with why you feel that way.
Well,
why is that wrong?
It ain't nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with disagreeing because at least you guys have an understanding. Like, let's say we talked about politics during one of our other episodes, and if you know this person is starkly against your candidates or your political views and vice versa, then you already know either we're gonna sit there and have a spirited debate about it,
Or
and we
get
can
mad at each
still
other.
leave that as friends, or we can have a debate. Totally never talk to each other again.
Mhm.
Or we can just like, we don't agree with this.
So
Do
we
I
won't
want to
talk
bring
about it.
myself a stress when we don't agree? Let's not talk about it at all. But we know that we don't need to talk about this because we have discussed it before, and there's a stark contrast
Mhm.
between your belief system and my belief system, which is no issue at all. But if it's going to cause conflict in that relationship, at times you got to think about, is it worth it? And I think when we're talking about this holiday situation or these toxic holidays, is allow joy to carry you during your holiday. What Jimmy does, what Jenny does, what Charles does, what Boo Boo the Fool does,
Mhm.
should not be able to destroy
Your
your
holiday as a
joy
whole.
during the holidays. And that's whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, what other holidays are around here?
Passover.
Yeah,
Is that Passover?
Passover. Yeah, I think it's Passover. It's it's called as
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Damn.
Thank you, Sam's
I'm
on
sorry.
point today because I'm like, shoot, when she said, I'm like, yeah, that's the holiday, but I'm not sure what it's actually
Yeah,
called.
Hanukkah,
But yeah, Hanukkah, like whatever you celebrate, if that is something you actually believe in and you enjoy, then you need to take that initiative to create your own joy.
Yep.
It
Create your
shouldn't-
own culture, create your own holiday, create your own happiness. We can't keep on relying on others to make us happy. And I think that's what a lot of us go wrong with. People relying on things and
Mhm.
others. If I don't have this, I'm not happy. Or if this person don't act this way, I'm not happy. Happiness is up to you and solely up to you. And your happiness is only determined on you. Not
Mhm.
Christine, not Johnson over there or Jackson over there. Yo ass. So if you're not happy, you need to look within and don't point your fingers out what everybody else ain't.
Listen,
Because you don't have to be there. You don't have to be with Johnson.
yeah, listen, what did Michael Jackson say?
What?
I'm starting with the
Man
man.
in the mirror.
So,
Yeah.
but it is looking at that man in the mirror, looking at what you're bringing to the table when it comes to your holidays, when it comes to your time, when it comes to the things that you enjoy. But like Carmen even said, our holidays have greatly changed since my daddy has passed.
Mm-hmm.
My holidays still are wonderful.
Yep.
Because
Last year's was hard for me though.
last year was
I don't know what it was. I guess because
it
we have a
was-
lot of deaths during our holidays. Like a lot of people that we loved from in the fall have
Mhm.
passed.
Well,
yeah.
because our daddy's birthday is
It's
on
December
December 12th, and then our granddaddy,
Died
he
on-
passed away 2 years ago on
my
our
dad's
daddy's
birthday.
birthday. But I felt like last year's holiday was just a little strange because that was the first Christmas we all have spent apart.
Yeah, that's our
And
only
so,
Christmas. Yeah, because normally we might have missed one person. I was like every holiday.
uh-huh.
I think I missed one. I went to St. Louis for a holiday.
Yeah, that's when the fateful thing to happen to
Yeah.
white baby Jesus, which we will not name in this. I think we talked about that in a different episode. So if y'all
I know
can
what you're
figure
talking about.
out what happened to white baby Jesus, then we'll send you a free t-shirt if you message us. Nonetheless, but like most of our holidays, we are able to spend together. And I think for me in general, my favorite part of the holidays is being with my family or people I love in general.
Yeah, being
and
with
I
people.
like to relax. So all these people who going to 20 million different houses on the
Oh,
holiday.
I will and will never do that. You know what we doing
Exactly.
this holiday? Cracker Barrel and what's that? Kansas City
Some
Steakhouse or
Kansas
something?
City Steakhouse
Prime
prime rib
We're
is
not
what
cooking.
we're doing.
What I'm gonna do is sit my butt on there with some Sprite and watch some TV. Probably pass out, get some Hennessy and eggnog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's this family tradition.
Yep, our family
Yeah.
tradition definitely. Like I went to St. Louis one time and my cousin got me hip to Hennessy and eggnog, and we've been drinking it ever since. And that eggnog, we go through it like. And I don't really drink,
shoot.
but during the holidays, I
During
drink.
the holidays, but with that being said, we don't drink to excess either.
No,
It is
no.
is making sure we're even being responsible with that time, even within the holidays. Because for me, me, for people I love, especially who have suffered from alcohol and drug addiction, I will give up anything for you to be around you for the holidays because I love you.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
I will love you. I love you. So if I
Have
have
to have a
someone
dry
struggle,
holiday,
yeah,
we
if
have a
we
dry
have,
holiday.
yeah, and that like that don't mean I ain't about to sneak to Karen's house and give me one Hennessy and eggnog. But after that, I'm done. I'm done.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
But I feel like, again, make sure always that you get to determine your joy. You get to determine your happiness. You get to determine who you can be around and who you can't be around. And it should be based on what you're allowing your spirit to do at
Not
that
on
time.
emotions.
Not on emotions. Because if it's based on emotions, listen, we'd be in The Purge right now. Y'all, I saw that movie. This would be The Purge if we relied on emotions all the time. But
Right.
we have to balance ourselves. Once you feel it in your spirit that, okay, I'm feeling emotional about it, and I even have to do this with myself, let me reprocess this when I got my stuff together.
Right.
Let me calm down from this and really think logically
Yep.
about
And don't
what
make
occurred.
decisions when you're emotional. Come back to it at a different time.
So I feel like holidays can be a terrible time of the year. They can be a great time of the year. What it comes down to is it's your choice.
Yep.
Who do you want to be for this holiday? What are the experiences that you want to see? Do something that you've never done. Here in New Mexico in Albuquerque, they have the River of Lights. Now, I still never been to the River of Lights, and I'm sure it's beautiful. I hear from everybody it's beautiful, but I still have not been. And it's one of the things that I want to do. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it this year because it ain't no make or break for my holiday. Like, I
don't even want to put my Christmas tree up because you have to take it down. I mean, it's easier to put the Christmas tree up, put it down, put the bulbs on, and it's a fun experience. But then you got to that's probably 100 ornaments on this damn tree. Then you got to take it down and you got to pack it up. Then you got to carry the tree because I have a basement, carry it down the steps in the basement. I just wish maybe I should make a design in my house that can be transformed to anything every holiday, like light show or something in a corner with lights that transforms something every holiday.
You can have like a LED light show in the house, and then it can be a bunny one year.
See, don't be trying to steal my idea, y'all.
Listen, this trademarked already.
Yeah, I had
Jesus
a teacher.
knew.
I had a teacher that she had a Christmas tree up she started her Christmas tree on Halloween, and her Christmas tree on Halloween had a sheet on it with a ghost. So that was Halloween. And then I forgot what she put for Thanksgiving, but then it went to Christmas. So she had a 3-phase Christmas tree situation.
I actually had it up for Easter too. I think it was.
Wait, it was all year.
It was all
She had a Christmas tree all year long.
We talked about her before too. Yeah, we talked about. I don't know if it made the episode. We're gonna have to ask Sam if it made it in the cuts.
Yeah, probably didn't because I don't remember. But I don't remember a lot of things. So
yeah, that's
not
true.
telling
no surprise at all. So, but I feel like at the end of the day, like we all have to claim what is ours. Like, going back even to that post that, once the backbone of your family is gone, then, the holidays go with them. And that's
not an excuse.
It's likely it happens is because we choose and we refuse to change our traditions. Like, I'm not, like, my granny made the best fried rice. The best. Now, does that mean I'm never going to eat fried rice again because my granny passed away and can't make hers?
She passed away, bless her soul, in 2006, and we still be hearing about her fried rice. Get over the fried rice, people.
Get over it.
But Jonathan can cook some
fried
rice.
Jonathan been holding it down with
the... He almost as good as my granny.
Yeah.
It's really good. But, like, there's some things you're not going to have your grandma's recipe unless you ask for it. So I think this is what I learned. And when my granny passed, I wish I would have sat with her and wrote down some recipes, even though she didn't even measure things. But I could have at least wrote down the ingredients and said, well, this might be this much, because our family food is going because we ain't cooking. We're door dashing. We're sending Instacart and we're Hello Freshin'. We're not doing that. Real. So now we're losing meals. So now my granny's hot water cornbread, nobody know how to make.
No, nobody know how to make
and
that.
And I loved it.
And I feel like some people have put it together a little bit, but
Murders
but I also think it comes down to the fact of nobody's ever gonna make the fried rice like Granny made it because that's Granny's, and it's also based on that relationship which you have that person. It's kind of like when you cook your kids a meal and they have the exact same thing on their plate as you do. but they won't eat what's on their plate, but they'll eat what's on yours. And for whatever reason, for your kids, it tastes better just because it came from your plate. You're not going to change or shift or move that relationship, because my relationship with my granny, with my daddy, with my grandpa, that was our relationship, and no one can replace those relationships. And we should never search for that to ever occur, because they are uniquely themselves. And again, like we talked about earlier, it would be a disservice for me to say, well, I'm not going to cook no more in my life because my granny I can't enjoy her food.
Yeah.
Like, we have to learn how to let it go and enjoy the stories, enjoy the thoughts of it without taking away from somebody else's fried rice or somebody else's hot water cornbread. Because if you're always going to eat something and say, well, this don't taste like Granny's, but guess what? I love my granny dearly, but she's no longer here, and it will never taste like Granny's. Because Granny has passed on, even if someone had the exact same recipe, because it wasn't from her, it's not going to taste the same. So we're pulling away from our own lives because we want to search for nostalgia. Nostalgia is wonderful, but it's taking away from your joy for tomorrow because you want to stick from 2006. Your palate has not moved on or digressed from 2006, or whenever your loved one passed, or whenever so-and-so made that thing. So you're telling me you're never going to find any other joy in that because that person didn't make it? I have found...
Everybody dies.
Yeah.
We can't operate like that.
And me and Courtney were talking about this the other day because she was mourning people dying who are still alive, by the way.
Yeah, since my dad died, sometimes I'm scared to lose, like, my sister. I be thinking about that, and I have to get out of my head, like, you know what, everybody's gonna die. Christina's like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah, I wasn't very sensitive.
I'm just hoping she's not sensitive about most things, but I just hope that my sister dies before me. I know that I hate to say that, but I couldn't imagine losing Christine. So I'm hoping I die, not you die before me. I die before you.
That's what I told her when she was calling me about it. I said, well, hopefully you're gonna die before me.
Yeah, then I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, then I don't have to worry about grieving.
Now, I did have to consider, should she still be the executor of my trust? But we'll talk about that one later.
We're going to have to add a third party.
Exactly. I will have a paid executor of my trust because of this.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, for holidays, we got to make the holidays what we want them to be. We can't rely on other people. So,
thank you for joining us again for another episode of Falling For It with the Ross Sisters. We hope you guys have a wonderfully blessed holiday. We love you, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Be blessed.